Fellow Zimbabweans, good morning to you all. I am Trust Gaganji, the spokesperson for the Zimbabwe Workers for Justice. So I will give shortly this time to the Vice President to make our official introductions. Over to you.
I am welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Judith Kuster. I'm the Vice President. And to my right, we've got Mr. Numen Chiteo, who is one of our committee members. After him, we've got Mr. Ngoni Mapfumo, and our president is Mr. Bigimu Tambara. And on my left is Mr. William Makwetze. Over to you.
I am now reading our official statement. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here today. Many of you may be asking who we are, why we are here, and why now. Well, allow me to explain, as this is a matter of urgency for the people of Zimbabwe. In recent weeks, many of us have been shocked and saddened by the short memories of many Zimbabweans. Back in 2015, there was a court case which changed the face of Zimbabwe, and it also changed the fate of Zimbabwe. It pitched the strong against the weak, the rich against the poor, big business against the worker. The Supreme Court case set off a crisis for the Zimbabwean worker, which led to around 30,000 Zimbabwean workers losing their jobs, losing their livelihoods. Fathers and mothers could no longer support their families. Young workers had their careers cut short, their hope and future torn out at the roots before they could even have a chance to grow. Children were removed from schools. Hard-working Zimbabweans who had worked for so-called reputable companies for decades could no longer afford to put basic food items on their table. Zua Petroleum, Stewart Bank, the Miku's Hotel, and other wealthy companies spat out their workers in huge numbers to increase profits for their greedy bosses. Many of them don't even live in Zimbabwe. But that was in 2015. Why have we set up the Zimbabwean Workers for Justice now, in 2018, right before our harmonized elections? Well, it appears that the people and the press of Zimbabwe have a worryingly short memory. There was one particular leading voice who was never held accountable for his role in this immoral decision. There was one young aspiring advocate who proudly took the despicable glory for this victory of injustice. That young advocate who fought for the big bosses against the worker, who fought for the rich against the poor, who fought for the strong against the weak, was none other than Advocate Nelson Chamisa. The same Nelson Chamisa who today is the leader of the MDC Alliance, a party that emerged out of the trade union movement, a pro-worker party. The same Nelson Chamisa who claims to represent the workers and the downtrodden, the poor and the suffering. This is not leadership. This is not morality. He is, after all, supposed to be a good Christian. So recently, we have all been dismayed, disappointed, and disheartened. That Nelson Chamisa, who was so proud to have defeated the worker with his famous court appearance, is back on the scene and running for presidency. Where is the accountability? Where is the humility? Where is the justice? Before we choose our president, people have a right to know about the candidates. The voters have the right to know who is responsible for one of the biggest waves of job losses in our history. Chamisa has done an excellent job at making people forget his role in this disgraceful event. He has sought to rewrite history and eradicate his role in this sorry episode. But we will not let him. Every Zimbabwean must know what happened to those 30,000 workers and who fought to have them fired. How can workers and young Zimbabweans support Nelson Chamisa, a man who chased the dollar and threw the Zimbabwean worker to the wolves? Nelson Chamisa, today we say to you enough. Nelson Chamisa, today we say to you loudly and clearly, you cannot sell the Zimbabwean worker for money and get away with it. Nelson Chamisa, today we stand up and scream at the top of our lungs. We will not be silent until every Zimbabwean voter remembers who was responsible for the most wicked court decision in the history of our nation. The Zimbabwean worker has suffered for too long, and our organization will serve as a voice to stand up for the workers, to fight for their rights, to be that advocate which Nelson Chamisa and ZCTU failed to be. We must empower the worker. Put the power back in the hands of the weak. Together we'll be strong again. I encourage you all to join us in this struggle. Ladies and gentlemen, journalists and activists, young and old, stand with us and make your voices heard. We are the Zimbabwean Workers for Justice. And as the Holy Bible teaches us, justice, justice, we shall seek it and pursue it. At the same time, I urge you, our journalists, to report fairly, without prejudice, without favor or fear. I thank you.